episode of the Brews Views podcast, Tales from the Sea and the City. I am one of your hosts, Kevin Griffin, along with my partner in crime, Mr. Jeff Williams. We want to welcome you guys to another fantastic and riveting episode of the Brews Views podcast. Jeff, I have to get my oil changed in my truck next week. If you're not drinking that, would you mind if I could just go ahead and throw it in the old White Stallion?
Well, I think I'm going to drink this one, but I've had this one before. You can just go ahead and throw that
in there. That'll be fine. I'll let the guys at Valvoline know to just go ahead and swap that in there.
Well, this one here is, 14%. So
run
a little bit longer.
That corn burning fuel, I could use the 93 octane in the truck now.
Yeah, exactly.
Just go ahead.
You don't need to use that. Just use this for like half of it for your oil and just throw the rest in your gas tank and you'll be good for...
I bet it'd probably get better gas mileage than the producer's Prius. I mean, at that point, if I'm putting that much effort into an oil change, you would think it'd go hand in hand.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can screw it in there where the oil filter is.
Oh, just plug it in there. Yeah.
You don't let that system run it out,
It'll be fine. It won't lock up the second you try to start it up.
No, that's lubricant there. You're good.
I'm telling you. So, what are you actually drinking? I'm looking at this can here. It's got kind of a spaced out.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Shout out Brenda and Jeremy for getting me about 5 cans of different varieties of these. This is it'll be a new series that I'm doing from Cedar Creek Brewing Company out of Martinsville, Indiana. This is actually not even a stout, a porter. It is a black IPA.
Oh, changing it up, coming to my neck of the woods just a little bit.
Yeah. Good thing about black IPAs is they have the same mouthfeel as an IPA, but they have a good flavor of a stout for the most part. At least this one does for sure. When we poured it earlier, we had to wait about 10 minutes before we could do anything because the head was like up here. It looked like a root beer float.
Literally, though.
Yeah, so we had to wait for it to go down. You can still see the remnants, a little bit of it. It's a really good IPA. I believe it's coming in at a 6. It doesn't have it on the can here. But overall, really good. And once again, appreciate you, Brenda and Jeremy.
What is the name of the beer itself?
Oh, Interspace. Interspace. Yeah. And it says drink at the creek. So I'm probably not drinking this. If I drink this at the creek, man, people are gonna think I'm a witch or something.
Yeah, and I wonder too, as you're mentioning that, I've only had a seldom few black IPAs. I wonder if, coming out of the tap, if it's got that big of a head on to it because of the way the oxidation in the can of it.
Well, I'll tell you something. We picked this up before I went to Florida, so we picked it up Thursday, and I forgot to drop it off at the house, so it stayed in the car all the way down to Florida. I took it out, brought it in. I didn't put it in the refrigerator, but then I put it back into the car, and then drove all the way home with it. So
kept at room temperature-ish.
Ish, yeah, I don't know, maybe it got shooken up, I don't know. I mean...
Yeah, maybe the temperature difference in that being in the car.
And both cans did it too, so it's not just one can.
Yeah.
Because we had this black backwoods raspberry from them as well, which was very, very tart. It's a sour, but it's another good one they got me. But... Yeah, go ahead.
This week I'm stepping out of the state lines a little bit. I am drinking. I did purchase this in state lines thanks to our friends over at Barker Brewing Company here in Evansville, good old West Side.
Wolf.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, sir. This is from Avery Brewing Company in Boulder, Colorado. Hazy-ish IPA. So Juicy and Hazy IPA comes in at 6.5 from Avery Brewing Company. Description on the can stating, brewed with Rocky Mountain water, malted barley, malted wheat, flaked oats, hops, and yeast. So hazy-ish IPA. I like the can design on it too, just something a little bit different. It partially intrigued me just by the can design of it, but take a little taste test here if I would mind.
A little gander. I'm actually interested in seeing how it tastes because, like I told you when you sent me this picture that you had this beer, the only Avery thing I've ever had is their sours, and their sours are they're top tier. They're very good. If you want a tartar one, they got tart ones. If you don't like the tartar ones, they got this. I mean, they really overcompass their sours.
I can tell I don't know exactly what pinpoints it then, but there is a little bit of a difference as opposed to the numerous hazy IPAs I've had before. Something that may, in their brewing style, that tastes a little bit different. Still a great lighter beer, even coming in at 6.5%. Coloration of it, being a lighter color as well as polar opposite of
green from over here.
That tint to it as well. It's got that yellowish greenish type of coloration in it. But I will say though, still a light and refreshing beer. Nothing too heavy that would, something like yours. You could probably drink this down at the creek. But
Yeah.
speaking of interesting places to drink, you and I have recently had
Adventures.
two adventures.
Yeah.
Please go ahead and tell us what you've been up to the past since our last recording.
Yeah, so me, my wife, and 3 kids, and then a bunch of my other family, we all got a hotel room down at Daytona. And
One single hotel room.
It 3 bedroom, it was.
I thought you were about to say, well, we got a red roof in, and we just all kind of
It was all squished in
We got the
there.
air beds, the cots, and, we kind of dojoed it in.
Exactly, that's exactly how it went. No, but we had a good time down there. We did the beach thing. We did, we were going to do a lighthouse, but we didn't end up doing that. We saw Lindsay down there. Lindsay came down
nice.
and went to the beach with us. And it was a great time. I had a lot of beer.
I can believe it.
Yeah, and then the
Craft or more domestic?
Bush Light.
Yeah,
I did take a walk down to the 7-Eleven because Jen was wanting an IPA, or not IPA.
I was
a
like,
Mountain Dew.
whoa.
She wanted a Mountain Dew, so I went down to the concierge desk there, and I was like, hey, Mountain Dew, maybe some Reese's. They're like, no, they're 7-Eleven, like, a block and a half down. It's like 9 o'clock down there.
Sure.
And I'm like, should be safe, It is what it is.
I survived Nam, so I think this will be fine.
It's a funny story. So I'm walking down, Atlantic Avenue there, and there's a couple probably 150 yards in front of me, and I have these black dudes walk towards me, and they're like, doing the whole looking back, and he looks at me, and he goes, you see that? I said, I'm not walking back here for my health. Yeah, it was a good laugh, but I went down there and grabbed me some Voodoo Rangers.
Oh, nice.
And a couple big cans of those. Yeah.
I'm surprised that while you're down there, I don't really know the craft beer scene a whole lot in Florida. I've been to a couple in Miami, but I'm surprised that you didn't take a quick gander and drive into somewhere real quick while you're in Daytona. I don't know what they're. I know at least in Miami and in the Keys area, the selection is very, very limited. It still is there, but it's not like we have in this area.
Well, they got a Total Wine down there, but I looked up, because with Total Wine you can look up their inventory and whatnot. And what I was really wanting to go down there for is to get the Funky Buddha porters they make.
Sure.
But they didn't have anything I needed and any other stuff I've had, and I was like, I don't really want to spend money on it, so I can get it up here.
Gotcha.
So I just said, screw it, we'll just stay at the hotel, go out to eat, just stuff like that.
Do you have anything, I know personally when I like to go anywhere in the coastal side, any good seafood or any good restaurants while you're down in Daytona?
We went to, the first day we went to Krabby's.
Okay.
Yeah, which is really good. I know we didn't get anything extravagant. I got like a chicken Cajun pasta, Alfredo pasta.
So something you could get at the Olive Garden.
Exactly. Yeah. We just got done driving for 15 hours.
Yeah, I'd say you're a little bit tired.
Yeah, I just wanted something, real easy.
Hearty.
Yeah, hearty. Yeah. I'm hungry.
Something light before you go.
Even John got seafood. He got some fried shrimp.
Oh, I'll be damned.
Yeah, he was ready. And then the other two, mac and cheese, chicken strips.
Yeah, typical.
And then Jen got fried shrimp as well. But
nice.
yeah, we ate there. That was our really only seafood spot. Because oh my God, speaking of food, we got this one, when Lindsay was down there with us, we went and we were like, we're not going to go out because we're paying $30 a day to park.
Oh, sure,
so
yeah.
You leave, you got to pay, then come back and pay. And
no kidding. It's not in-and-out privileges?
No.
I'll be down.
Yeah, so we decided, DoorDash, and Jen's like, you want some barbecue, you want seafood, Mexican?
Yeah, the variety.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't really want any of that. I was being the woman in this, and she's like, oh, what
Make
about
up your mind.
She's like, what about baked potato? I was like, what kind of baked potatoes? And she's like, it's like the Spud Hut up there. I was like,
yeah.
It was called Baked Potato Corporation or something like that.
Okay.
And I got this thing called the Cowboy. It was a baked potato, butter, mac and cheese, and then pulled pork.
I figured. I was just. I bet this is a pulled pork variation.
Pulled pork. And when we got them, I was looking at the sticker, and I was like, that's a weird one. It was a potato, and his eyes were all red, and he was just like squinting and everything.
It's like, what?
I was like, yeah, that's cool.
Solid.
No, yeah, we ate that crap up, and yeah, I mean, that it was just more of like, you know, take the kids to the beach, take the kids to the pool.
Quick little getaway type of
We
situation.
didn't really, nothing extravagant, but I know your weekend was definitely extravagant since it was your big old 31.
I'm in the Reggie Miller years. I've been
Yeah.
telling people.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm in the Reggie Miller years. So 0 NBA championships.
Yes,
and there's
sir.
always one person that's just preventing me from hitting that glass ceiling, you know, grabbing that brass ring, if you will. But yes, it was. This past weekend was my birthday weekend. The lovely producer took me down to Nashville for the weekend. Took me Friday night. We went to my all-time favorite steakhouse, STK. It's a nationwide chain, and I use chain very loosely. I've been to their. This was the first time in their Nashville location I had personally been to. Had been to their Miami location, been to Chicago, and then the producer had been to their Vegas location, which I didn't realize they had one in Vegas. I believe in the Cosmopolitan, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, so it's expensive, more expensive in there than.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, absolutely love it. They, you know, my usual, I get a nice ribeye. You know, I haven't worked my way up. Maybe on like a 35th or 40th birthday, but they get A1. You know, Wagyu, Kobe beef. I mean, these are top tier steaks.
I'm sure they're what, $300 for a steak for the A1.
I mean, it's priced by the ounce. Those type of steak. Yeah. I mean, even the ribeye that I had got was just under $100, I believe, right at $100.
God.
Oh yeah, it would. But I mean, when I get the ribeye, they have and I don't like using steak sauce a whole lot, so you know, just a mild simmer of it. But they have a variety of sauces that you can use. I get their house STK sauce. It is very delicious. But I also, the creme de la creme that I like using is they have variants of butter that you can do.
Yeah,
truffle, lobster, and they've got one more that they use.
Like a cowboy butter?
And I don't know exactly, because when I've gotten the lobster and the truffle before, I decided to go with the truffle butter this time. They get a nice little dollop on there, and what they do is they take a torch and they melt it in front of you. It's fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very fancy.
Nice.
So that part is nice, and also just the atmosphere. It's not like your quote unquote typical steakhouse. It's got a new age vibe to it. You know, if you get a chance, get on and never heard of it before, check out all their social media platforms on their STK. Like I said, it is a nationwide chain, various bigger cities here in the country. Very party-like atmosphere. I mean, we were there for probably an hour and a half, hour 45. You know,
good.
just taking our time, but the ambiance is very nice, but it's also like a party-esque type atmosphere. They have their own DJ. I believe it was around 8:30 or so. They had the strobe lights going off, and they did shots for the entire steak.
Crap!
They're like lemon drop shots, or something piddly. But yeah, they're giving away shots. You know, on my actual birthday, I had gotten
saw
the sparklers.
In a cup.
Yeah, they did that first for when they brought me the complimentary champagne, and then when they did the shots again, because it was my birthday, or because I was there on a special occasion, they give me another one. You know, people
in a syringe.
Yeah,
in Vegas.
Exactly. You know, people there. It's Vegas, so you know, bachelorette parties, or you know, anniversaries or birthdays, things like that. So, but it's a cool vibe. You know, it's definitely a little bit more on the pricier side, but the quality of what they serve there, their food, their drink selection is amazing. Of course, I had to get an old fashioned.
I had an old fashioned in a hot minute.
They call it, I believe it's not your daddy's old fashioned. I'll have to show you the description.
I think that's what it was. You sent me a picture of it, like
yes,
it literally, of course.
Yeah.
Duh. Yeah.
I had to go, and the producer got a very nice espresso martini that would look very, very good, and it was done the correct way.
God, I love an espresso martini.
It was top tier for sure, and you know, it's if you're looking for somewhere to go, especially if you're here in this area, get a chance. You know, closest one being Nashville. There's one in Chicago as well, but various bigger cities here in the country. Definitely worth spending the extra money to go on a special occasion, just because And now back, due to some technical video difficulties, you know, two bumbling idiots that try to attempt to do a podcast are going to run into a few minor technicalities here and there, you know.
Yes, I mean, and it's hard to do it now by ourselves, so we're learning.
Yeah, it's a learning. You know, shout out to Reba McIntyre, the producer, for kind of putting this all together on the back end, because Lord knows we wouldn't know how to do it.
Well, and you know, praise her a little bit here too, because she's the one that came down here and said, "Oh, by the way, the camera isn't running."
Idiots! Did you know no one's watching this right now?
Yeah, the camera died.
And they cut you off at the good part.
Yes.
So back to what we were talking about. It's Friday. I'm in Nashville. So after having a exquisite dinner at my favorite steakhouse, STK, downtown Nashville, we ventured down the road to Highwire Brewing. Have you ever heard of it?
I've never heard of Highwire.
Next time you go to Nashville, also similar to a Southern Tier.
Yeah.
Has various locations across the country, but so ventured down there and got a nice little nightcap. And I'd have to check on my Untappd to see exactly what we had, but I had a few different beers down there. Just enjoyed the evening, and you know, surprisingly enough, it hadn't rained majority of the times that we were in Nashville, but it was like we had some weather last week. It was those pop-up showers, so like it's rain, Florida weather, if you will.
Yeah. Which actually, in Florida, the entire time where we were at,
didn't rain at all.
Not at all.
Oh, we did not even like those short spurts.
No, but I'll tell you, when we were at the beach, and my dad, my mom, and my Aunt Nancy, they went over to the Speedway to do the Speedway tour, Daytona, and all that. And they got out to like the middle of there, like doing the trolley thing there, and started pouring on them.
Really?
Pouring on them. You could see the Speedway from our hotel. And I was like, oh crap. So we packed up our stuff, went in, never rained a drop.
Oh, yeah. Kind of just anticipation, it's going to...
Exactly. Like we had our, big old tent out there, and we were relaxing and thinking, oh, here it comes. And nope, never happened.
Well, so, yeah, it's interesting how that works out there. But yeah, surprisingly, all of Saturday it didn't rain at all. After that short little spurt, we thought we were just going to get some sort of the same weather. So it leads me into Saturday. Saturday kind of pilled around Nashville for a little bit, and the big main event of the weekend was going to see the Kenny Chesney concert. Mm-hmm. So we, normally when we go to concerts, we get there after like the first artist or two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got there right as soon as the gates opened at Nissan. Funny story about it, I've never run into this at Nissan, but I'll be damned if they didn't make me go through security 4 different times.
4 different times?
So I was in my country attire, and I walk through, and they're like, oh, I didn't have my keys on me or anything like that. She had them on her clear bag, so it wasn't my keys or anything. I go ahead and just as a precaution, I take my phone and my wallet out, and I just walk through with it. And they're like, oh, the thing went off, and I was like, oh, okay, well, let me put my stuff in there, and I'll walk back around. Second time went off, and they're like, oh, it might be your hat. Took my hat off, walked through, dinged off again, and they're like, are you sure you don't have anything else in your pockets? And I surprisingly didn't have anything, and they're like, well, maybe it's your boots.
It's probably the spurs you attached.
Yeah, that's what they were like, is it steel toe? I was like, no, it's not steel toe. They're like, we'll try one more time, just walk on through. I said, it was 95 degrees that day, and we'd walked, it may have been like a third of a mile. It wasn't too bad or anything. From where we dropped the car off to north entrance of Nissan, since it's kind of all told right there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't hot or anything till then, but walking through that damn security line 4 different times, I told the producer,
figure out what it was?
No. I was like, no, I'm done. I was like, there's nothing on me. And they were like, you're fine. It's good now. Whatever, man. I collected my and went on.
That's how they do that. They got someone that walks through
4 different times.
They're like, you know what? You're good.
Literally.
They didn't pat you down or anything?
Nope.
This is how the Trump assassination attempt happened right here.
You got thousands of videos that are online of that. I heard that she was looking for a new job. Maybe she took head of security.
That's probably what it was. Yeah. They're like,
he's fine. Walk through.
Don't worry
maybe it's the machine's fault.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I digress.
Yeah, I digress. Another day.
Yes.
So,
find us on Discord.
Yeah, correct. The Brews and Views After Dark.
After Dark.
Uncensored.
Hanging with Kicks and Ronnie.
Yeah. The Kicks and Ronnie stories. So it's so concert was really great. The lineup amazing. So in order, it was Uncle Kracker, Megan Maroney, Zach Brown Band, Kenny Chesney.
Zach Brown was there too?
Oh yeah, dude! I got some videos to show you. They, especially with Megan Maroney and Zach Brown Band. I think even Uncle Kracker did one. We'll throw a couple throwbacks.
Oh.
Dude, it was a heck of a concert, man. And of course, Kenny. I mean, I've seen him 3 different times.
Yeah.
Amazing show. Went on 8:45, 8:50. Concluded at 10:30. I mean, the whole time, just one number one hit after the other.
Did they play The Sun Goes Down together?
Of course they did. You know, he came out like.
Oh yes.
They. I can't remember. It was. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, so they did a tribute to Jimmy Buffett. That was cool. I got some photos I'm gonna show you.
R.I.P.
Of course. R.I.P. to Jimmy Buffett. No, that silence for the goat.
Yes.
Well, it definitely made me more excited to go to freaking Cancun in 3 weeks and seeing, every damn song that he's got is freaking beer in Mexico, Margaritaville, and
oh yeah.
And so just amazing concert.
Tear in my eye.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing kind of just that lineup alone was.
Was that probably one of the best concerts you ever been to?
Yeah, I would say so. I cannot remember who was the openers for the one that he had here in the Ford Center last year. Mm-hmm. Blew that concert out of the water, though. I mean,
if you had to like top tier your 3 favorite concerts you ever been to, what would 3, 2, 1?
I don't know if I could. I'm going to say in no particular order on this one.
Okay. Elton John,
the Kenny Chesney concert from this past weekend, and Luke Combs when he came to Nashville. Wow! And Luke Combs when he came in number 4, Brooks and Dunn.
Really?
I like the opener for the Luke Combs concert was Kane Brown, but before Kane Brown, I'm wanting to say...
Didn't he get lost on his own land, which is an acre?
Yeah, something like that. It doesn't derive his performance.
It kind of does.
Who was the opener for the Brooks and Dunn concert?
John Party.
Yeah, I've seen John Party before. That's definitely number 4.
You're out of your mind.
Okay, I'll give you a comparison here. Any time I look in the mirror, I get a personal Ronnie Dunn concert. So it's like the tears, it waters it down just a touch.
He brought out American soldiers at the very end and shot red, blue, and white confetti.
I was there. I know. Number 4
for the encore. You're out of your freaking mind.
Yeah, it's number 4. Well, and mainly because, as most would know, we were the ones performing at that concert. So you know what I mean. It's very.
I enjoyed performing in front of a home crowd.
I mean, believe me, I do too. Hence why we perform all the time. But nonetheless, I mean, our last performance down in Henderson, Kentucky, that's concert number 5. Like,
I know.
But I digress. That's definitely number 4. Those outside of Brooks and Dunn. Brooks and Dunn is an asterisk because it is us. It's implied we would say Brooks and Dunn.
Yes.
Yeah, those would be my top 3 for sure. But man, I tell you what, the last 2 concerts I've been at Nissan have been amazing. That's even in the hot sun. Which, granted, I know Nissan well enough. I make sure to get on the shade.
Yeah.
I mean, I was even telling the producer, I was like, you couldn't pay me to be up in the sun in the 300 section, man. I mean, you're just pouring in sweat for at least 2.5 hours.
Well, when we went out to Fallout Boy, we were up, in the stand only, sit down.
Well, yeah, you had in the amphitheater. It's different because normally they kind of structure them a little bit differently.
Yeah, but I mean, it was kind of warm that day.
You weren't in Ruoff. You were in Ohio, weren't you?
Yeah, we were in Ohio, Cincinnati.
Yeah,
and it was kind of warm, whatever. And next thing you know, over to the right of us, a storm just started brewing, and you could see the rain come as it came over top of you. And it cooled everything off. Everyone's having a good old time in the rain. I mean,
there you go. I'm surprised the lawn seating didn't like turn to a damn slip and slide.
You know what? I'm surprised too, but I mean, it was like the AstroTurf, with like the rubber underneath it. Kind of, you know what they use in stadiums and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I mean, there was pretty good grip on it, but I'm sure that would have been funny. It just
That's
people starting to slide right into the back row. Yeah. No, luckily that didn't happen.
Well, especially because in most of what I've not been to the one that you guys had that concert, but I've been to Ruoff and Hollywood out in St. Louis, and it's obviously got some sort of an incline there, so. I mean, you would think that it gets wet, the grass and stuff like that, but if you're using a variation of AstroTurf, then that would make a difference.
I'll tell you, my favorite amphitheater concert had to been out in San Diego.
Really?
100%. They had this British country singer there, and then following her were Brother Osborne, and then the headliner, Chris Stapleton.
Oh, yeah.
And we were right up there, 10 rows from the stage. We were in
were you in full uniform? Did you get a...
Well, I'll tell you what, there was this guy, me and Spencer Cooper, he brought me there and whatnot, and we were going up to get some IPAs or whatnot, and this guy came behind us, and he's like, he's probably 6'7", dude's huge, but his resemblance looked like Chris Stapleton. Oh, and so I started talking to him a little bit. He's like, oh, what do you guys do? And I was like, oh, we're in the Navy, you know. He goes, in the Navy, let me buy you a beer, man.
Of course. Yeah.
And I was like, we were planning on getting 2. He goes, get 3.
Yeah. How many can I legally carry?
Yeah, they're like, IPAs are like $14 a can. I mean, they're tall cans, but...
Hell, that's... Nissan, I haven't even looked at my tab at Nissan yet. I just... kept it rolling. It's fine.
You went to work today. You replenished.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I sell enough checking accounts. It's fine.
Exactly.
It'll feed itself.
Exactly. So we went back, and his wife and then another couple that they brought were there, and I was the fifth wheel kind of thing. The Cody Sloan of the group, as some would say.
as many you associate with.
Yes. And we got 2 beers in this hand, 1 in this hand, and they're like, "How'd you get? Did you pay for that?" Like, heck no! I'm sitting there just drinking,
So they hear American Soldier in the background. The intermission period.
Exactly. Yeah. It was great. I mean,
I'm telling you.
Yeah. I don't know. Just the amphitheater itself has such a great vibe to it.
Sure.
The outdoors of it, because that was my first outdoor
concert. That's what I'm telling you.
I
used to knock outdoor concerts, I used to refuse to go because, you never know the weather and that type of crap.
Yeah.
The acoustics are totally different than in an arena. Ever since I went to my first one, it's probably been 10 years ago, it was at the Hollywood Amphitheater over in St. Louis. It was Thompson Square, the band Perry, Darius Rucker, and not Luke Combs, Luke Bryan. Dude, hell of a concert.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's just a different feeling, man. Like having an outdoor type of feel.
I seen Darius Rucker.
Did you see Darius Rucker? Or did you see Hootie?
Yeah, Darius Rucker.
Oh,
I was yelling Hootie. The back. I seen Darius Rucker, the band Perry, and Brad Paisley together.
Oh, really?
At one time.
Was it nearby here?
It was in Evansville. Yeah.
Okay, I was just saying. I thought that lineup sounds familiar.
Come
to Evansville before.
It's crazy. Those two always seem to be together.
It may have been around the same time, to be honest with you, depending on how long it was.
It's been a hot minute.
Well, I mean, mine was at least 10 years ago.
Yeah. So
back when that band Perry was relevant.
I haven't heard anything from them.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, even Hootie's always been relevant.
Yeah, Hootie's going to be relevant no matter what, just because of his past career, and then Wagon Wheel, the rendition of the Pro Medicine show.
Exactly.
But, he did good.
Last thing that I want to talk about birthday week after the amazing Kenny Chesney concert is, and ironically, I had it. I was going through my time hop today, and I actually saw a screenshot of where I saw it on an Instagram ad last year. Is this new place? I don't know where else they have it other than Nashville. I know they've got it in, again, several locations across the country. Is Putt Shack. So it's the thing I showed you where it's a putt-putt golf course, but it takes putt-putt golfing to a whole new level.
Did you see the Instagram thing I sent you?
Yeah. You're like, this trivia question on this one.
Yeah. Dude, it's a little bit explicit for this, but
yeah, it definitely is. It's Brews Views After Dark, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And
find us on Discord.
Yeah. It's very cool, man. It's one of those though. It's like the popularity of a Top Golf situation. I mean, we got our reservation. It was like 11:15 on a Sunday morning. and I mean their queue was filling up very quickly.
Great. Is it only 18 holes?
No, so here's how we're, at least in the Nashville location. So they have 4 different color courses. There's like like red, green, orange, and yellow. And what you do is, and I don't know, we just got randomized in one because we'd never been there. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. Mm-hmm. So you pay for 9 holes. So you can add on, you can play 18, but it obviously adds on to the cost.
You don't play 18, so I get it.
Correct.
Putting's a lot of walking.
Listen, with this one, I would. I was telling the producer, I was like, next time we know which course we went to this round because I got signed up with our membership thing, or so we keep track of the scores because it's a fun time. I recommend anyone, at least in this area, if you're in Nashville, it's a cool thing.
Is it new?
Semi-new, yeah. I think when I screenshot their Instagram ad last year, it was brand new. But it's just go on social media and look up Putt Shack. They've got one in Nashville. I think they have one in St. Louis now. But it's just every hole is a different theme. So like you saw the one that I sent you, there was a Trivial Pursuit one. One of the holes was like a skee ball one.
Oh,
there's one that was what do you call it? Like the Pong, like the not Pong, but Pac-Man.
Oh, gotcha.
Just various. Every hole is a different theme, and the ball, like in Topgolf, is tracked. Yeah. So like basically how it goes is you pay for your 9 holes, and then your group you go and you play your entire turn, and it tracks your ball, how many shots you take. There's different ways you can earn points and lose points and that type of stuff.
Interesting.
It's a very cool experience. It took us for 9 holes roughly about 35-40 minutes, give or take. We kind of didn't really take our time, kind of just followed the pace of play because, I mean, we were following someone else was behind us, that kind of thing. And, I mean, it's a neat experience. Like I said, there's 4, at least in the Nashville location, there's 4 different types of 9 holes that you can play. And then for 2 of us to play 9 holes on a Sunday was $30 after tax. So, the local course, I think here, it's $15 or something like that. It's been a while since I've played.
Summer rates have gone up. It's $22.
So, what I mean? And that's for 18, I think? 9? Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, like, it's definitely worth it. I would, like,
I can drink, 3 to 4 beers in 2 hours. I can only drink, 1 to 2 in 35 minutes.
Spoiler alert. They have a full bar. And when I say full bar, it is there's a restaurant in there. There is a, legit cocktail bar, draft beer. I mean, we were it was Sunday. I had several drinks over the weekend. We were drinking and we were driving home right after that.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to try this place out, especially because we were able to get in a reservation and that kind of thing.
You should have brought your putter off, wipe the dust off.
See, that's what I thought about it though. Well, and I played it
all this year.
Yeah,
so.
I got lined up and I was like, okay, you remember, you center it and lean a little forward and you move with the shoulders.
It's all the shoulder.
The first rule they said never. They're like they go over the disclosures and stuff because it was our first time. They said no full swings. I said I only play with a driver.
It's 100% every time. It can go 2 feet or it can go
negative 50.
I've seen a negative 50 from you.
I wish I'd seen it the day that you hit the car on Morgan Avenue, but that's neither here nor there.
We got it figured out. All right. They've been paid.
Thank you, State Farm.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Allstate.
What's the slogan of Allstate? Always low prices, always something like that.
I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Isn't that the guy that
we'll get you there or something like that?
No, it's the Mayhem dude, right?
Oh, it is the Mayhem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy from
Protect you from Mayhem, like me. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I'm a loose lug nut or something like that.
Did you take a craft beer and put it into your truck?
Yeah.
Protect you from Mayhem, like me. If you listen to the entire episode, you're going to get that reference. If you didn't, well, man, screw you too.
Don't know why you're skipping ahead.
Yeah, I don't know why you're... Anyways, so, recommend it. It's a good time. I mean, we thought, it's fun. It's like a date night situation too, because I mean, we had a good time. We would do 18 the next time for sure. That's the only time I'd ever do 18.
Unfortunately, I know that.
Correct, and your wife would agree with me that sometimes 9 holes is just.
She's starting to enjoy golf a lot more now, so she might want to do 18 every once in a while.
She might want to do 18, but that back 9, I've golfed with your wife enough to know that if the drinks started flowing, I start to get pissed, and then I really give up. It's a whole thing.
If she just went with me, and we're doing our thing, best ball kind of thing.
Yeah.
We do have a good time. Goes a little quicker.
Yeah.
And she do 18 with me.
Well, that's good you finally convinced.
No side eye.
Yeah, that's good you finally convinced her. That only took you 10 years.
Yeah. Hey, we're here.
Yeah, you are here. That is correct. But yeah, if you ever get a chance, or even in a group situation, so there was the group ahead of us probably had 5 or 6 people. Even then, the pace of play was pretty quick. It's still fun regardless. So whether you've got a small group or you're just doing, a couples type of thing, it's a cool time. It's well worth the money. I would definitely do 18 next time.
See, it's hard to like.
And I go at night too.
I would say on the way home, yeah, it's a good one. But you got Topgolf. You got Topgolf there. So it's hard to deter me from Topgolf to go putt-putt.
I get what you're saying on that too, and it's more so that we'll tie this into our next episode because I do want to bring this up too. But it's hard to you go to Topgolf so much. It's fun. I love going to Topgolf. Mm-hmm. I mean, we went for my 30th, but this just being a whole new type of experience, it's just something different.
Don't get me wrong. I want to try it, but like it's
hard to.
Yeah, you're like
you just have to go and experience it.
They bring me beer, or I have to go get beer.
Correct.
It's
different. And as we're wrapping up on this episode, I'm going to tease into next week because I want to gather your thoughts on this. They have just recently announced on Evansville 411, if you follow the Facebook page, they are making a Topgolf-esque. It is a simulated outdoor driving range within a stone's throw of my front door. Right there at the intersection of Epworth Road and Oak Grove, right there in Ward County.
Really?
Yes. I'll show you the article when we're finished here, but we'll talk a little bit more about that next week. And
that'll be interesting.
Yes, it will be. I will definitely be getting the membership. I shit you not, because that is going to be a fun time. It's good, like a family entertainment complex. Like it's going to be a whole thing out there. I don't know when exactly they're starting construction. We'll look at the.
Well, you say you're getting a membership there, but you also said when you moved in, you're like, I'll be at tea time, like Monday through Wednesday.
Here's the difference in that.
And
at tea time, I'm humbled because it's me, the club, the bag, and the ball. At this new complex, there's going to be drinks, there's going to be entertainment.
You can bring your own drinks, It's a little cheaper to go tea time, pay $7, get a large bucket of balls, and get drunk there. I mean, you bring a bologna sandwich with you if you want to.
No, I want me at the ambiance.
Yeah, you're big ambiance kind of guy.
Listen, I could go to Texas Roadhouse and get me a steak. Now, it's shittier quality than at STK.
I never will go to Texas Roadhouse and get a steak. I've been let down too many times.
Too many times. Yeah. Speaking of people that get let down at Texas Roadhouse, shout out Zach Young. Yeah.
You'll never eat with me at a steakhouse.
No. Yeah, definitely.
No.
That's all that needs to be said.
You pull a scale out on the table, I'm gonna throw it at you.
Well, it was 2 different cuts. A sirloin.
No, the thing is, it's a 16 ounce in the before it's cooked. Pre-cooked.
Yeah. It says it on the menu too.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's just there for the sale.
Yeah. The Brews and Views Pod, Instagram, TikTok, all social media platforms. If you're not following us on Spotify, YouTube, if you're not liking, subscribing, why are you watching? I don't
know. We try so hard every week to make sure.
I get tired of saying it,
Yeah, just figure it out. I mean, we do this, weekly. We enjoy doing it because there's beer flowing, there's a conversation, having a good time.
Yes.
Just follow the damn page.
And shout out to all our new listeners. I've had a couple people reach out to me in the past couple days that tuned into our last episode featuring the infamous Jennifer Williams that really enjoyed that episode. So, got some new listeners to the podcast. Well, so shout out to you guys. But make sure, again, follow us, the Brews and Views Pod, on all social media platforms. Like, subscribe, make sure that you're checking it out. We put episodes out most Thursdays, depending on what the schedule looks like. Now that September goes in, it'll be a little bit different. We don't have a whole lot of vacations and stuff like that.
I'm done with vacations this year.
I've got the Cancun thing, and I'm good for a while. So once Daytona, Gatlinburg, need I go on?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Then we'll start on yours. You run it back, and I'll run it forward.
Listen, March was a busy month for me. I've been pretty timid.
Yeah, you have more vacations in March than I do the rest of the year.
One of them was with you.
That's what I'm saying. That's the point has been made. Right?
I digress.
Yeah.
Thank you again for joining us, Jeff. Any final comments before we kick the bucket on these beers?
No. I know I told you all that our previous guy here, Joe McHarg, was going to join us eventually. He actually got called down for some training down south. So that's going to be a later date. He's a good time,
He will be returning to the podcast.
He will be returning. It's just going to be a later date. So
if you want to hear how do I want to put this? The Gibson County version of Jeff Boomhauer.
Yep.
Definitely turn into one of our earliest episodes. Somewhere 3, 4. I think episode 4.
4 or 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5. In the early days of Brews and Views, you get to hear the lovely insight of Joel McCarr, dang old man. I tell you what.
Dang old boom, man.
And on that note, glasses are empty. It's a Monday, and most of us have to work tomorrow. Well, you can cut grass or...
I'll plan on cutting grass tomorrow.
Yeah, sounds about right.